Hi and welcome back to my channel. I just want to quickly say that I love reading your comments. Thank you so much. I love your questions. I'm so glad these videos are helpful for you guys. I'm also happy that some of you are just starting your screenwriting journey and you just found my channel. Thank you for being here, and I'm working on a lot of new stuff to help you guys out. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Today we're talking about 3 screenwriting books you must read. Especially this is very good for beginners, because if you're not a beginner, you probably have already read them. It's very important to understand the concepts in these books because people in the industry talk about it. For example, they talk about the plot points mentioned in this book and they actually use these methods. So it's really important that you read them and understand them, okay? These are pretty standard. And there are many other books that you guys should check out, but I'm just gonna share the top 3 that I think you should start with, and I'll share a bonus at the end. If you wanna buy any of them, my Amazon links are gonna be in the description below. These are affiliate links, by the way, so if you buy it through them, you would be helping me out. If you want to, it's the same price that you'd find on Amazon, so nothing is different. And if you don't want to buy through the affiliate links, that's fine. I'm just letting you know. And I do recommend getting a physical copy of the book. I don't recommend listening to the audiobook. It's just not worth it. It's good to have the physical book in front of you and highlight and take some notes on it. Make it your own screenwriting course textbook. Hi, by the way, welcome back. I'm a screenwriter based in Los Angeles for over 6 years. I did my MFA in screenwriting. I've been mentored by seasoned writers with credits including X-Men, Kim Possible, Batwoman, etc. I have sold a web series, audio drama show. I've been hired on TV pilot scripts. I've been hired on feature films. I'm currently hired on one. And, I work freelance. I work from home mostly and get hired for writing movies or shows. And I really want to share my journey with you guys because I'm not American. How did I do this? How did I get started? I am very young. I hope I'm young. I don't know. I'm 29. So that's why I wanted to talk about this, because everyone who talks are very seasoned writers. So I don't find that very relatable. When I first started my journey, I really wished someone younger and newer and a fresh voice in the industry would talk about their journey so we know how to get started, rather than these seasoned writers who probably broke in like 28 to 30 years ago, which was a different time than we are in right now. So that's why I wanted to start this channel and share relatable content and also what's going on in Hollywood, analysis of trends and workflow vlogs of doing my work for my clients. On this channel, we also have a podcast called The Screenwriter's Secret Diary Podcast, where I share everything that's secret. For example, are you listening to Happier in Hollywood or The Screenwriting Life, Save the Cat, Script Notes, Write On podcast? If you're listening to those, know that what I'm sharing in my podcast is more unhinged and more of the truth, because there are things that these podcasts actually cannot talk about. I'm very serious actually. If you listen to my podcast, you will know that I might lose work for saying some of these stuff, but I don't really care. I just want to share the truth. I just want to spread the word. It's not that important. I'd rather be truthful to myself than act. I share an episode for my podcast every Wednesday, and every Sunday we do a little video like this where I either give advice or we shoot a vlog of how I work on a feature film or how I develop some concept for a story and things like that. Subscribe if you like the vibe, and let's begin. Number 1 is Blake Snyder, Save the Cat. So this is number 1 because I think it's written in a way that is very easy to understand, and it's also funny, so you won't be bored at all, because some of these screenwriting books out there are very boring. It's written in a very methodical way. I also think it's important to watch or rewatch these films that Blake Snyder mentions in this book, especially once he gives you his beat sheet and plot points. I want you to analyze all the films based on these plot points and really dive deep into it. So that's why taking your time with this book is very important. Make it like a full-on education, full-on screenwriting course for yourself, especially if you're a beginner. Even if you're not a beginner, this will improve your craft if you do this the way I'm saying, like analyze the movies based on the plot points mentioned in this book. So since I received this comment from a beginner screenwriter, I'm planning to do a video series with Blake Snyder's book, basically going deep into the plot points he has and the movie genres, movie types he has, explaining them further, giving more examples, giving some contemporary examples, and analyzing the movies that he mentions in his book, just to, you know, have fun and do our little screenwriting course together. If that seems like a good idea for you, leave a comment below for me. By the way, this video is basically an answer to her question, so if you also have questions, make sure to leave them below, like this video, and maybe you'll be next. Number 2 is Sid Field Screenplay, The Foundations of Screenwriting, a step-by-step guide from concept to finished script. I love this book, but know that it's not as fun as Blake Snyder's book. It's more like a, you know, like a lesson of the industry. It's more like it's more like a college book. You know, that's how it feels like, honestly speaking. I think Blake Snyder has this way of making things funny and engaging, so you're having fun while reading his book. This one is also like, it's not bad, it's not boring, it's just pure education rather than funny. But after reading Blake Snyder's Save the Cat, you might feel like it's a bit slow. But no matter what, if you want to become a screenwriter, I really recommend this book. I also recommend you to read it right after Blake Snyder's Save the Cat. It not only dives more into the art of screenwriting, but also the business of screenwriting, how to protect your work, copyrights, and I also remember it mentioning the big 4 agencies, WME, CAA, UTA, and ICM. But I think at this point CAA acquired ICM or something. We have to double check that. But it also mentions like agencies, managers, and how to break in and things like that, rather than just screenwriting, like how to write a film. You know, it has everything. Like, it's almost like a summary of everything. So I would definitely read this book. Now let's just take a look at the back. The Preeminent Guide to Screenwriting, now completely revised and updated from the most sought after screenwriting teacher in the world. Filled with updated material, including all new personal anecdotes and insights, guidelines on marketing and collaboration, plus analysis of recent films from American Beauty to Lord of the Rings. Screenplay presents a step-by-step comprehensive technique for writing the screenplay that will succeed in Hollywood. Why the first 10 pages of your script are crucially important. It really is. How to visually grab the reader from page 1, word 1. Visually. This is so important. Why structure and character are essential foundation of your screenplay. So important. How to adapt a novel, a play, or an article into a screenplay. This is also important for authors, so definitely check this out. Number 3 is gonna be Blake Snyder's Save the Cat Strikes Back. So this is, I think, the 3rd book. I haven't checked out the 2nd book. I just didn't want to, if that's okay. Think of this one as a review of everything you've learned, and also going deeper into the story structure of screenwriting. I honestly wasn't expecting much from this book because I don't like getting like book 2, book 3. I don't like it. Like, Save the Cat is already, you know, alone, it was a great book. But this one actually dives deeper and gives a lot of different perspective. It expands on everything you've learned in the first 2 books, so that is really good. And first 2 books, I mean the first 2 recommended books in this video. For example, let's take a look at page 47. I really wanted to show you guys this. Is it visible? Okay. So as you can see, the transformation machine, I really love that. Like, page 1, opening image, page 5, team stated, page 1 to 10 is all set up, page 12 is catalyst, which is inciting incident, page 12 to 25 is debate, and it basically talks about how like there's false victory, fun and games, break into tree, false defeat, and all is lost, and things like that. I don't know, this visual learning makes me really happy when I see that. And let's read something random. Chapter 7, Strike Back You. Throughout our adventure from the first cat book till now, I hope you've been encouraged by one truism that really is true. There's always a solution. I learned this as a young person by working with my aged screenwriting mentor, Mike Cheda, who calmly and wisely held to this notion. I was always in a hurry, impatient, forever forcing the binary, it worked or it didn't, now or never, black or white, while Mike always clung to maybe, not enough information yet, and the certainty I hope this book resonates with. Given enough patience to find it, every story problem has an answer. I really like this. The first book is very mechanical, which is important. You have to learn the mechanics and techniques in screenwriting. But this one basically tells you, yeah, like every story has a problem, but we can always fix it. It's like, let it marinate, as I say in my podcast and in this channel all the time. Some people say, sit on it, like every story problem will have a solution if you give it enough time. And I think it reminds us a lot of things here in this paragraph, at least. So these 3 recommendations are very, very important. I'm gonna get to the bonus recommendation, but real quick. The first book is like basics of screenwriting. The second book is like business of screenwriting, plus it's almost like a screenwriting quick course type of a thing. And the third book I recommended here is like expanding and diving deeper into everything. So I think if you read these books in this order, Blake Snyder Save the Cat, Sid Field's screenplay, and Blake Snyder Save the Cat Strikes Back, you'll be up to speed very quickly. You'll educate yourself, basically, which is something you guys ask a lot. So I hope this helps. Like, you guys ask, should I go to film school, but I don't have the means right now. What should I do? Do this. And don't get me wrong, it's really good to get the education. Like, it really helps when you listen to the professors and really understand what they're doing. Like, these seasoned screenwriters, when they mentor you, it's really, really helpful. And I'm sure you will get there maybe in the future, right, where you have a mentor and everything. But you can also consider taking workshops if you want. Like, there are 4-week workshops, 8-week workshops. There are night workshops at my school where I did my MFA in screenwriting. If you want to do that, you can do that, but I definitely recommend reading these 3 books first, because it'll be like a fast screenwriting course. Now on to the bonus recommendation. This book is called Story and is written by Robert McKee. I can't find this book in my bookshelf behind me, so I'm guessing I probably donated it, which I do that sometimes. Whenever I'm done with something, I want to donate it. I didn't have anything written in it, but I read it and I remember it had really good explanations about the plot and story. By the way, weirdly, you can find this book online as a PDF. I think it's the shorter version though, like it ends in the middle of the book or something. But if you want to just check it out before buying, you can actually do that. Just write the title and the writer's name and write PDF next to it into Google and you'll find it, because that's where I found it and I was like, okay. I want to read the first page of the book just to like get you guys going. Introduction. Story is about principles, not rules. A rule says you must do it this way. A principle says this works and has true all remembered time. The difference is crucial. Your work needn't be modeled after the well-made play. Rather, it must be well-made within the principles that shape our art. Anxious, inexperienced writers obey rules. Rebellious, unschooled writers break rules. Artists master the form. Stories about eternal, universal forms, not formulas. So that's very, very interesting. I don't know. I think you guys need to like check this out. It's really, I don't know, maybe as a 4th book if you want to check it out. It's really interesting. I love how all screenwriting professionals are like, there are no rules. It's just whatever works best for the story. Do justice to the story. But then they're like, well, you have to follow these rules because they work. So I just want to tell you, if you're new to screenwriting and you wonder what these rules and plot points and beat sheets mean, it's basically a way to keep the audience intrigued and interested in the story. That's how I look at it. After getting hired by many clients throughout the years, this includes authors trying to adapt their novels into screenplays and non-writers trying to write a made-up story inspired by something that really happened to them. I see this trend. I see this common mistake that they all make. They ignore plot points. They ignore story structure. But when you ignore those things, you don't have a movie. You have a documentary or something. Like, it's something that we're not very interested in. So how I explain this to a beginner is, think about this. This happened, then this happened, then this happened, then that happened, then this happened. Now compare it to this. This happened, but then the character said no and came up with a plan. But then the plan was disrupted by this other thing, but the character didn't give up and did this. Now, which one is more interesting? Obviously the second one, right? It's because the character is not giving up. They keep working towards their goal, but then things keep coming up, but they try to do something else, but then another conflict comes. So that's how a story is told. That's how you engage the audience. That's why you have plot points. It's like the character is actively working towards something. That's really, really important in screenwriting. But in the first one, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. It's like how we said in the movie Analysis of Kinds of Kindness. If you watch that movie, I'll put it at the end if you want to check it out. Shit is being thrown at us. It's like things are happening out of nowhere, rather than characters actively working towards a goal and things make sense. Story feels natural rather than being pushed. That's what plot points are for. That's why there are rules. But if you want to break the rules, they say first learn the rules. First write movies with the rules. And then in your 5th or 6th movie, try to break a rule and see if it works. Because sometimes it does work amazingly in some movies. It's almost like the audience wants to be involved in the story rather than all these crazy story plot points being thrown at us out of nowhere without any logical explanation. I think plot points and plots in these, whatever you're gonna read in these 3 books, they really tie the story together and they make it intriguing. So these are all my recommendations for screenwriters. Again, if you want to buy any of them, the Amazon links are down below, and these are affiliate links, so this way you would be helping me if you want to help me, while buying the books. If you want it, no one is pushing you. And definitely get a physical copy. Again, if you listen to it, I don't think it works out. I think get a highlighter, get a notebook, and work as if you are being educated by someone. Set a timer, 2 hours, 3 hours a day. Just sit down and work on these books step by step. Let me know if you like the idea of me taking chapter by chapter from Blake Snyder's Save the Cat and kind of doing a little movie analysis based on the plot points he shares in his book. Thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any other video. And see you on this Wednesday's podcast episode. Bye.